appreciated the opportunity to be associated with CCC Publishing, which has a long, rich local history that predated even my tenure here. You've all probably been to the Howard Street Fair. You've been associated with some of the many manifestations of of CCC Publishing and Brad Olson. And so I just wanted to kind of welcome you all here. And I want to welcome to the microphone next another individual who's had a long association with Brad and the local cultural scene, Michael Gosney.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Brad and the journey that he's going to take us on this evening. And I've had the pleasure of sharing a lot of history with Brad on journeys of all kinds over the years. And he's a guide, you know. He has been putting out books and as an exemplary, as Steve said, publisher, following a long tradition of San Francisco publishing. But as a travel writer, he has taken people all over the world through his books to exotic locations, including some of the major sacred sites around the world. And likewise, it goes into music and his hosting of early amazing electronic dance parties here in San Francisco, which of course did evolve into our incredible Howard Street Fair now, many years later. We go back to Burning Man, where in the early years we built not one but two flying saucers. And he's he's a man who experiences what he speaks about, and you can trust his vision as he takes you through these various realms tonight. And I think it is important for us to think for ourselves as we've learned in the past, and definitely take a look at what we regard as consensus reality. You know, we need to expand how we see things. Perception makes all the difference. So, all right, Brad, take it away. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Steve, for those kind words, and thank you all for being here tonight. I've prepared a presentation which is a little bit different than the book. It's different images, different text that we're going to have here, and if there were a name, it would be The History That They Don't Want You to Know. How the scientific community, archaeologists, theologians, and mass media have been feeding you misinformation. So without further ado, this is the Future Esoteric, the Unseen Realms presentation. There's going to be a lot of information in this presentation that might be upsetting or create cognitive dissonance. I just want to be clear at the beginning and all throughout my book and this presentation that love is always the answer, no matter what the question. We've all heard the saying that truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as self-evident. We can come to understand this subject matter without becoming angry or fearful. Or if you want to disregard everything I tell you, that's also fine. I won't be offended, and I'll still be your friend. After all, my motto is believe nothing and question everything. The information that I cover are the esoteric subjects, those that are not recognized by the scientific community, archaeologists, theologians, or the corporate-controlled mass media. The literal definition of esoteric is a kind of information that is understood by or followed by a select few who have access to special knowledge. The esoteric study was the impetus behind the mystery schools in ancient Greece. We don't have anything like the mystery schools anymore, or do we? What is not said also speaks volumes. Remember, if the modern institutions of today didn't ignore these subjects, they wouldn't be considered the esoteric. And for those who are skeptical about the upcoming information, there are two ways to look at it. First, if these subjects can be considered true, then they will completely rework the way we regard ourselves on Earth, our global civilization, and our place in the universe. Or if you reject them, you can view this information as modern mythology. And what I'm discussing is merely the zeitgeist of the age that we occupy today. Either we are touching on the greatest discovery since fire, or the richest source of mythology since the ancient Greeks. Either way, these subjects deserve to be recorded in this modern age, and that's what I've set out to do. We're gonna go back one. To codify and document esoteric subject matter, it was necessary to plot at least 3 data points containing the exact same information. The data points get stronger over time when the same information matches up. Given the fact that all disinformation involves some degree of truth, the next step was to rigorously check the links to see if any of this info could actually be independently validated. Subjective intuition also factored into the process of writing about these esoteric subjects. The ordinary narrative is what we all perceive to be real. It's what we all know and the media tells us is true and everything else. But it is the alternative narrative that truly stretches the bounds of reality. Remember the movie The Matrix when Morpheus says, "You take the blue pill and the story ends." You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. Then Morpheus presents Neo with a red pill, shown in the other hand. You take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. After a long pause, Neo begins to reach for the red pill. Morpheus reminds him, "Remember, all I am offering is the truth, nothing more." Neo takes the red pill and swallows it with a glass of water. In this presentation, consider the blue pill to be deception and the red pill to be hidden truth, or the esoteric knowledge of our past and future. If you were given the choice, would you rather take the blue pill and see how deep the rabbit hole actually goes? But then what? It's the hoping and the waiting that's killing us. But what choice is there? Because once you're in the know, there's a tremendous sense of responsibility that comes along with it. For me, I cannot sit idle and do nothing. Sometimes I wish I could just take the blue pill again and rejoin the ranks of the blissfully ignorant, but life is not like that. Once you know something at your core to be true, there's no turning back. Contrary to what you might think, this is not a presentation on conspiracy theories, but rather on what we already know is a global plan with a very clear agenda, however covertly that may be. We're going to talk about UFOs and ETs when we get to the cosmos section, but before we get there, we need to tackle the secrets section. It has been said that no one can truly understand the UFO phenomenon without looking at the motives of people here on Earth, and this is called the study of exopolitics, which is a study of human motives, but also of ET motives. Unless we can truly understand human nature and why certain powerful people might have a motive for keeping everything about UFOs top secret, we cannot fully understand the scope of exopolitics. There is an agenda of mass control on this planet, not just for the resources of the world, but the power to control our minds.